Hello, Hitless Gaming here. We're going to be doing a video about jump clones, why they're useful. I'm not going to be covering all the different kind of clones that you can have. I'm going to be covering how you can quickly move around New Eden with them, what the cooldown means, how to install multiple clones in the same place, and how to switch between clones as just kind of a basic guide on how to use jump clones. Today I have my character that is nearby the clone that we're going to transfer to, but I need to transfer to the clone for, well, reasons. I'll just go into a quick kind of overview of what they are, how to use them, skills, and whatnot that are important. So we're going to go ahead and jump right on over to my Jita. This character is not currently in Jita, but we're going to go to Jita to pick up a clone that I need for other reasons. So the first thing that you do to recognize whether or not you have jump clones is to open up your character sheet here and then hit on the jump clones tab, and it will tell you which clones you have and where they're at. The clone in question that I want to use is going to be this clone here, which is an Ascendancy clone with some HP implants and warp speed. We want to use this clone for reasons. I'm not going to get into it, but we're going to be jumping into this clone. And then I'm going to go to perimeter and show you guys kind of some clone tricks. Alrighty, so all the skills associated with clones are in your neural enhancement tab. And there are 3 skills associated with clones. The first being, it's not this one, it's Infomorph Synchronizing. And what this skill does is super fancy. This makes it so that for every point of skill that you have in this, you get a 1 hour reduction when you jump clones. So for example, you saw me, or you'll see me in the future, I jump clones and I have a 20-hour cooldown rather than a 24-hour cooldown because the default is 24 hours. And so instead of having the 24-hour cooldown, I have a 20-hour cooldown. What that means is that at the beginning of my session, I can jump clones, and then when I log in tomorrow, I'll be free to jump clones in my next session, which is really nice. So if I have an average play session, say 3 hours, and I pick my activity in the beginning of the day, I jump into the clone that I want to use for whatever activity I'm doing, PvE or PvP, I'd grab an empty clone, or doing PvE of some kind, incursions, I grab my incursion clone, or doing missions, I grab my mission clone. I just hop into whatever I wanted to do that day, and then the next day when I log in, I can decide, do I want to go PvP, do I want to PvE, what is it I want to do, and you can jump into the proper clone for said activity. This makes it really easy to transport yourself around New Eden for different activities. So you could have like a high-sec and a null-sec clone. You could have a high-sec and a low-sec clone. You could have an incursion clone and a mission clone. Like there's whatever your imagination is what's important here. The other 2 skills, if we go back to the skill tab here. Hi, Nika. Nika is pushing up on the desk, and she's making this very difficult. Unfortunately, I don't have the camera up. All right, so we got the kitty here. The kitty is being super annoying. We're petting the cat. I promise you guys I'm petting the cat. Giving her all the attention we can. I know in the comments you guys absolutely love Nika. And this is Nika. Anyways, the second skill is Infomorph Physiology. Every point of skill that you train into this, you get an additional clone slot that you can have. So there's 5 here in this one, and there's another 5 in Advanced Infomorph Physiology or Psychology, whichever it is. I think it's Physiology. But for each point you put in this, you get an additional clone. So if you train both of these to 5, you have access to 10 different clone slots, so you can set up 10 different clones. That's the 3 skills involved with clones. The other one is for people that have a super carrier and have a clone bay, and they're actively reshipping for combat. This is a really advanced skill, and I wouldn't really worry about it right now. This is a skill that's not really needed for the average bear. But the really important one, in my opinion, is Infomorph Synchronizing, as it allows you to jump a little bit sooner. So you'll always be able to jump for your next session or your next play session, whatever it is you want to do. I find that really useful. All right, so to jump from one clone to another, you have to meet a few criteria. The first is that you can't be in a ship, so you have to right-click your ship and go ahead and leave the ship that you're in. When you jump from one clone to another, you're going to teleport from that place, from the last place to the new place. And the other thing that's going to happen is you're going to leave your old clone behind. So in this case, I have a shield command mind link that I'm going to leave behind in this station to go hop into the other one. So when I go jump clones, I'm going to go ahead and jump to this one, which is in Jita. We're going to go ahead and jump. Yes, you have to pay a fine or a little fee. It's normally just under or at 1 million ISK. So we're just going to go ahead and hit yes. And then we've teleported to Jita, and we're now in the new jump clone. And we now have a 19-hour cooldown before we can do a remote clone jump again. And with this cooldown in place, we can't do a remote cooldown. However, alrighty. So one commonly asked question is, I want to PvP. I've already used my clone jump. So I'm already on cooldown for my clone jump. How can I get into an empty clone, even though this cooldown is currently running? Because you do start a cooldown whenever your clone jump is whenever you've recently jumped a clone. Lucky for you, if you are in a player station, if you go to a clone that you have in a player station, and that player station also has a clone facility, you can jump from the clone that you have in your head currently into the clone that is at the station without incurring a penalty or a cooldown. You just have to pay whatever fine they have in place. So in this case, I'm not in Jita, but I am in my fancy clone that we want to preserve, and I want to get into a free clone, or a clone that is empty. This is the Tranquility Trade Tower, and I'll show you how to locate them. This is the Tranquility Trade Tower. All I'm going to do is I'm going to select the Clone Bay menu. Click this one right here. And then we are going to install a clone, which is available right here in this little thing. So we're going to click Install Clone. And they're going to charge me 1 million S for this. So the clone is now installed. I have one in the Tranquility Trade Tower. And then again, just like with when you jump normally, you have to leave your ship because you can't be in a ship when you jump clones. And then you have to wait out a session change timer, which lasts about 10 seconds. Normally a little thing pops up. It's right here. So there's a session change. It's over. And then I can go ahead and jump into this. Even though I have the cooldown, I can go ahead and jump into this. And again, the TTC fee is 1 million ISK. So we're just going to go ahead and hit yes. And it's going to say this clone will transport your conscious clone to the at the structure, which could be destroyed if attacked. So basically what this is saying is if you leave a clone in a player station, that player station could be destroyed and you could lose your clone. The benefit of leaving it in a player station is that you can jump right back into it, or you can jump out of it for your session or whatever, and then you can go back in your learning clone afterwards, which is really useful. So even though it's risky in that the player station could die, we can leave that for our session, and then now we're in an empty clone, and I can go play around and not care that my clone dies, since it's a empty clone now. And then say I wanted to go back, we would simply go back. Again, this is the same session. If you look at the timer in the corner, I haven't done any fancy editing or anything. The times are there. We just jump back and forth in between clones. And then, of course, you can destroy clones that you don't want from this menu. I actually need to go and move this clone away, or out of this station. So I'm probably going to jump out of this one. I think this is just a learning clone. I'm not too worried about it. So for clone storage, it used to be that you could only keep one clone in any given station. And they recently did change it so that you can keep more than one clone in a station. This is really useful when you have a few different setups that you want to do in the same area. But it's kind of nifty. I thought I'd just add this little bit of information because in the past you could only keep one clone in station. So now if you jump clone out of a clone, it's impossible to accidentally destroy the clone that you had in the facility before because you're allowed to store more than one clone. Here's an example where I have two different clones in Langisi, and I believe I have 2 clones in Tyrannus. I actually don't. But in this instance, I actually have 2 clones in Langisi. And then it looks like I also have 2 clones in Jita, but these are different stations. So I could move this one to the Jita station if I wanted to. And then if I die and end up there, I'll end up there in a fresh clone because Jita's my home station. I'll end up there in a fresh clone and it won't damage either of these. You actually can't break your clones like that anymore like you were able to in the past. So super useful. If you want to store all your clones in one place, you can. It's just nice. You don't accidentally mash your clones when you accidentally leave a clone with a clone in the same station. I've done that a few times. But that is no longer possible to do. Your clones are fine if you leave them in a place. Alrighty, so one really important thing is being able to locate the clone facilities. And the easiest way to do that is to go up to your Neocom menu here, select Utilities, and find the Structure Browser. And this browser is super useful for a lot of reasons, but what we care about right now is locating clone facilities. And the best way to do that is to open this menu, hit the service filter, you can deselect all, and then check Clone Bay. And it'll show you all of the stations that currently have a Clone Bay that is active that you can use. And then if you hover over it, it will even tell you the Clone Bay fee. You can go all facilities, you can do public facilities, corporation-owned facilities. You can look in the constellation or the region to find the nearest one or one that is suitable for your needs in order to locate a clone bay. And this is super simple and super easy to do. But this is how you locate your nearest clone bay in the quickest way without going to each station and checking for whether or not it is actually a facility that has a clone or a station that has a clone bay. You can also, a little bonus tip, if you're looking for repairs or reprocessing, this menu is also incredibly useful for finding other services as well. They're all listed right here. So whenever you die, regardless of what clone you're in, you're going to end up in your home station. And for pretty much everybody, that's kind of what happens. Anyways, in order to set a station as your home system, you can go to that station. And then once you're there, I'm actually going to take away my webcam really quick. Once you're there, what you do is you right click on the station location. So there's a little system info thing. Yeah, it looks like a star. If you click on this, it tells you exactly where you're at. And then to set your home station, you can right click this and then set as home station. And then you can do this as often as you like. There's another function which is kind of nifty, and that's that you can do once per year. So you can do this once every 365 days. You can actually set home stations remotely once per year. This is really useful when, say, you're a new player that's living in HiSec and you join, say, I don't know, frat or test or something, and then you want to get out to your friends. If they give you a destination or a location, once you have the location, you can right click here and you can set home station just like this, and it'll give you a little warning. It'll say changing your home station to a remote station can only be done once every 365 days. Are you sure you wish to set the station as your home station? And basically what this allows you to do is allows you to, assuming that you have an empty pod and you're not wasting risk, you can just go ahead and leave ship, and you can go find a clone facility, and then self-destruct, and then you'll teleport to wherever your home station was or is. So you can effectively once per year teleport across the universe basically at will, which is super helpful when you're joining a new group, or if you want to make a quick trip to Jita. I guess that'd be a real waste of it. But for the most part, what you do is once you're at a station, you can set your home station here, and then that's how you your home station is your respawn point. Anytime you open up your character menu here, and show your character, I believe it'll tell you your home station, which is really, really useful. So I would recommend being aware of where your home station is and setting it properly. That way, when you die, you respawn where you want to live or want to respawn to. And again, you can set it at will. It's not once per year. You can reset it at will wherever you currently are. And yeah, it just basically says to respawn. So one nifty trick with this is, say I set my home station to Jita, and I want to do a one-way trip to, say, Langisi. I go hop into an empty clone, I run whatever it is I wanted to run to Langisi inside a shuttle or something, and then I self-destruct my clone, and I end up back here at my home station. So it's referred to as the Pod Express, and you can get kind of creative with it to teleport around. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Again, I'd like to say thank you if you're still here with me. Make sure you comment any other clone tips that you have kind of alongside the video in the comments below. I know I didn't cover everything. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I wanted this just to be a basics on clones. I'm sure you guys have tons of tricks that you guys know that you guys can comment down below. If you like this video, make sure you like and add additional comments. Comment about the cat, comment about this video is terrible, even tell me what I can do to improve. I'd greatly appreciate that. Make sure you guys keep on flying fun. Enjoy your time in EVE Online. Keep on bringing people up. And we will see you guys in the next one.